It's really nice to have some Galley favorites that don't require a lot of thinking or a lot of ingredients. Hi, I'm Nico Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. I'm sharing 3 favorites on board Calypso that are all 4 ingredients or less. Yes, you absolutely can do this. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by YugoWare. Yugo has the only waterproof floating phone and tablet cases using dry suit zipper technology. Invest in your safety because if you don't protect, you can't connect. Your electronics are fully functional while inside, and there's plenty of room for your keys, cash, and cards. We just picked one up at the Annapolis Boat Show, and I am so psyched to try it out. Our tablet is totally functional inside the bag. We're so jazzed. To get the only dry bag on the market with 0 device fails, visit yugoware.com. That's UGOWEAR.com. Use coupon code SAVE20BG, that's SAVE20BG, for 20% off. Yugo, just add water. Life on the boat and life in the galley on a small boat can be sometimes challenging, but having small recipes, short, easy ones that you know by heart, that you can pull to and go to time and time again, is absolutely a godsend. We have lots and lots of those kinds of recipes on Calypso, but here are 3 that I thought I would share with you. The first is a side dish, the second is a marinade, and the third is, we call it just pizza crack. If you try it, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So the first thing is carrots, mustard carrots. These have been in my family for years and years and years, and they're so easy and so delicious. You're taking carrots, there's one ingredient. You have yellow mustard. I suppose you could use Dijon, but something about the vinegary kick of yellow mustard really makes this. Butter and brown sugar. First off, you take your carrots. I never do less than a pound, even if it's just the 2 of us, because we just eat these things sort of like candy. Take a pound of carrots, raw carrots, peel them, and turn them into sticks. Steam them or parboil them. Basically, you want to cook them until they're not mushy, just a little, just where you can start to put a fork in them. And I do this with about a half a cup of water in a saucepan. You're going to use this saucepan for the other stuff too. So it also helps with cleanup. Once you have cooked the carrots, drain them. You can save the water for another recipe if you want to. You don't need that water again for this recipe though. And then in that same saucepan, you're putting 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. I like to melt the butter first before I add in the sugar and then the mustard, and a whisk helps to incorporate the mustard into the butter and the sugar. Let the sugar melt so it becomes like a sauce. Taste it to see if you want more sugar or more mustard, and then add in those carrots. Toss them all together, serve them hot. It's totally delicious. The first recipe is mustard carrots. Obviously, if you have more than 1 pound of carrots, you're going to do a lot more butter. But those are the general recipe ingredients that I start with. The second special favorite thing on Calypso is a marinade. This marinade works really for anything. It works for chicken. It works for pork. I wouldn't really do it on steak, and if I did it on fish, it would have to be a meatier fish, like a tuna or something like that, but I think the flavors of this would overwhelm a milder fish. You could probably do it with vegetables if you wanted to. Simple, 4 ingredients. I use soy sauce, honey, garlic, and then some kind of citrus, either lime or lemon, or even like if you had lime marmalade or even fig jam, and you do a spoonful of that. But the general ratios are 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 cloves of crushed garlic, or you could do a half a teaspoon of garlic powder if that's what you had. Taste it. A really good squirt of honey. So that's probably between a teaspoon and a tablespoon, depending on your squirt. I do the juice of a lime or a lemon. Sometimes if I have a leftover lime or a lemon, I'll just do a half, or I'll do 1.5. It depends on how I'm feeling. if I have some marmalade, which is generally either lime or orange, or some fig jam that I need to use up, I'll get a spoonful of that, a good, nice big dollop of that. Use a whisk and mix up the marinade, and there you go. That's the marinade. And you pour it over whatever it is you're going to grill or skillet fry, and it's just dynamite. It turns into some kind of a glaze and just is really, really incredible. So that's the second favorite recipe on Calypso. Again, 4 ingredients or less. And then the last one is what we call pizza crack. When we make homemade pizza, this is actually a surprisingly critical ingredient for an unbelievable over-the-top homemade pizza. And I think actually if you made this and even drizzled it on takeout pizza, it would elevate that takeout pizza to levels you've never quite experienced. This is a 3-ingredient special. You need olive oil, you need fresh garlic. Yeah, powdered isn't going to cut it in this one. And you need hot pepper flakes. It's 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, so that's 5 tablespoons of olive oil, to between 2 and 4 cloves of garlic, minced or crushed, to a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. If your red pepper flakes are not quite so punchy, you might want to put a little bit more in, but this is it's got a surprising kick to it. In a small saucepan, combine the olive oil, the garlic, and the pepper flakes. Then you heat it up until you can just start to smell the garlic, and it starts to smell like mouth-wateringly delicious. And then you turn off the heat. You don't want to let this go and get sizzly or browny or anything like that. You're just looking to bloom the flavors of the pepper flakes and the garlic in that oil. And then drizzle it on your pizza dough. And what I do is I'll put that on the pizza dough before I put anything else on top of it. Or if you have takeout pizza and you want to use this on there, this will elevate that takeout pizza to heights you've never, ever anticipated. So that's it. We have lots more special favorites on Calypso that we can cook without even looking at a recipe book. But these are 3 that I get requests for all the time and time again. People say, hey, how do you make that? Can you share the recipe for that? So I thought I would share those recipes with you on the podcast today. But I can't wait to share an Anchorage with you and share these actual foods with you when we're out there enjoying this amazing lifestyle that we both love so much. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love it when we hear from our listeners. We loved meeting a number of you at the Annapolis Boat Show. Thanks for stopping by the booth and saying hello. And we love it when you share us with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe in your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time.